welcome back to my channel. Today we are actually going to do a different type of video. I know some people keep commenting about how my skin looks so good in videos, but as you can see, my skin is actually not that great. So I'm going to do an updated foundation routine and how I get my skin to kind of even itself out. I do have a lot of redness and I do have some adult acne. I also have some discoloration under my eyes. So this is basically how I deal with all those things. And I will give you a quick walkthrough with some of my favorite products that I like to use. And hopefully you enjoy this video. So for obvious reasons, you generally want to start with a moisturizer and make sure your face is clean. So the moisturizer I use is CeraVe. I know it's like super boring and super simple, but it really works and it's like super cheap and it does what it needs to do. As I kind of work through, I'm all over the place. I couldn't honestly recommend a cleanser for you, but if you talk to a dermatologist, they will almost always tell you to use Cetaphil or Spectrogel. Those are the two most popular cleansers you can buy from the drugstore. If you've tried them, maybe you like them, maybe you don't. So the second thing I've been doing lately, and quite a lot, and I can't even tell you why, and I don't know why I like them, is use these Unicorn Essence Farsali drops. I have no clue why I like them, but I do keep reaching for them, and as I said in my favorites video recently, if I keep reaching for something, I put it in my favorites, because even if I can't explain it, there's obviously something I like about it, and it's obviously doing something for me. So what I do with these is I just put four drops on my face. Let it run everywhere. It looks kind of disgusting, but whatever. These are supposed to be like an essence drop, like it's supposed to make your skin look nicer. See my skin? As soon as I touch it, it's red. As soon as I touch it, it's bananas. I do just put these all over. I'm not sure if I even just like it because I like the smell. But if I actually read it, it says directions: apply to clean face before moisturizer. That's not how I do it. Maybe used as a primer before makeup application. Caution: discontinue use if redness or irritation occurs. I'm not going to discontinue use because redness occurs for me, because if I go like this, there'll be redness. So I'm not taking it personally. I don't use it as a primer. Maybe that is why I like it. Maybe that's it. So I just take a second and let that kind of melt into my skin or do whatever it's supposed to be doing to do the unicorn things. Please take the products I use with a grain of salt. Just because I use something stupid like that, I only bought the mini because I refused to pay the money for the big one. Doesn't mean you need this. That is not what is making my skin look nice. I'm sure it's not. I just like how it smells and how it feels and how it looks. My second step is to use a primer. I kind of had the same feelings about this Wet n Wild primer, but I do keep reaching for it. I'm not sure why I like it. There's a blogger friend of mine who is on my WordPress platform, and she said the exact same thing. She does keep reaching for it and will repurchase, but can't quite figure out why. So I do just kind of press this into my skin. If you have larger pores, you can always get a pore filler type of primer. NYX has a great one, and so does Benefit. I would say those are probably two of the better ones. Smashbox has a good one as well, the purple one. I'll put it up here so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we are primed, set, unicorned, we are ready. So my next step to get rid of redness is I do use this Makeup Forever Palette 5 Camouflage Cream Palette. Wow, that was just total gibberish. So what I go in with this, I do just use my finger. You can use a brush if you're more comfortable with that. I do make sure my hands are clean. I just go over all of my blemishes and pat this over them. This really helps with the foundation's coverage as far as I'm concerned. Make sure you don't do it too thick, because if you are doing it too thick, it will show the green tone through your foundation. If you don't have redness, I don't recommend that you do this. The only reason I do this is because my skin is so red on my face. Once you are thoroughly looking like a lunatic, that's when we're going to move on to our next step, which is the actual foundation. So what I've been really loving lately, and I feel like really helps my foundation routine, is this Real Techniques sponge. It's like a blending foundation sponge. And I have just recently decided to stop mixing this YSL foundation with all of my other foundations and just using it on its own. And wow, what a difference. This is the All Hours Encre de Peu. I don't speak French. I don't know how to pronounce it. But again, I don't recommend that you have to go out and buy this YSL foundation. It's like $63 Canadian. I realize that's expensive. It is not the only foundation I use. It is just my most favorite one currently. Other good options are the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Milani 24-Hour Conceal and Prime, I think is what it's called. I put it away somewhere. Also, a favorite of mine that has been a favorite of mine for years and years and years is the L'Oreal True Match. So what I do is I put a couple of pumps of this on the back of my hand, and then I just go in with the sponge and start to go for it. Once I go through the first 2 pumps, I do a little bit more. I basically do this until my full face is covered, and I don't do layers of foundation. I feel like I end up way too cakey looking, and I don't like how that looks. Brush, that is perfectly fine too. It does give a little bit more coverage. I do still like brushes, and my favorite are the Sigma Kabuki brushes. So like the F80 and all those kind of brushes, those are definitely my favorites. So these would be my 3 favorite brushes for foundation. They are the F80, the F88, and the F82. These are definitely all my favorites. They're very dense and they work really well. Do take it down my neck just a bit, not all the way, because I don't like that weird line where your neck and then your chest is a different color. So I know you can kind of see some blue around my eyes still. I do handle that during my eyeshadow, and I'm going to have a video coming up soon on how I actually finish off my eyeshadow looks and how I kind of make the blue and the red go away that's around my eyes. But we are going to finish off my foundation with some Stay Matte powder. So basically what I do is I take the already damp the already damp sponge, and I just kind of put it in the powder, and it does give you some hard pan periodically, but that's okay. All you need to do is take some tape and just run it over that and it goes away. And then I push the powder with the sponge all over. Matte powder because not only does it mattify, but it actually gives you a little bit more coverage as well. It just gives that little bit extra that I'm looking for and really makes everything even out. Because you would like to still look like you have your own skin and not wearing a total mask of goop. But everybody is entitled to their own opinion and their own style, so if that is not your style, that's okay. I am actually going to go in and try and clean up some of my eyes so you can see how to do that as well, because not everyone will wear eyeshadow to the way that I wear eyeshadow. So my first step typically to covering my under eye circles is using a salmon color concealer, which I also have in my camouflage palette. So basically what I will do is I just go in under here and I make sure I get this corner of my eye because it is so blue in there and it is looking real yucky. So I just pat that under there and make sure I get close to the lash line as I can. And same as over here because we have all this purple and blue that looks really poopy. You see the difference it makes? That's one eye concealed and one eye not concealed. I'm gonna just finish up the second one, so we're gonna go in through the same way. This definitely makes the biggest difference with my makeup, I would say, with waking me up anyway. The last step with doing the eye portion of this is just a little bit of translucent powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder and a kind of a pointed brush, and I just go in and I set that and make sure I set the inner corner as well. Sometimes I run it over my eye depending on if I've put any concealer up there, sometimes I don't. Okay everyone, this is my total foundation routine. I do obviously add contour so I don't look like a flat-faced weirdo, but if you'd like to see that portion of my makeup, please let me know. I'd be happy to do that video as well. What is your favorite foundation? Please let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if there's other basic tutorials you would like to see. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.